Okay, let's begin. So, welcome, Shashi ji, welcome Nalini. I'm glad that you could make it. That really shows how much you are devoting yourself, your commitment. And I would request if you can switch on your camera. That will be really amazing, and we can actually have an interactive session. I am not here to give a lecture or just give a lecture and speak about something, but it will be more of an interaction where I will share a few things and then you can share your experiences. In fact, I would be imparting the knowledge from Ascended Masters. There is something which I have learned. It's nothing that I'm not giving my version of it. I'm just being very particular about sharing the information which is coming directly from Ascended Masters, which has been received through messengers. We'll talk about that in a while. So, would you want to give a brief introduction about anything that you would want to say, just to be known, be present here? You're on mute.
It depends. I mean, is this going on to YouTube, this video?
It is. Yeah, it is.
It becomes very personal then, doesn't it?
Yes, you can share something which you feel comfortable, which you will be comfortable to speak in a bigger forum.
At
But
the moment,
do it because we are recording it, and that's how the Beam family, wants the way it has to be spread. So that's why.
Okay. At the moment, I have nothing to share. I'm just here to learn, basically. And I'm waiting for a friend of mine who said she will join, but she's not here. So I'll keep a lookout for her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfectly fine.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. And welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, Shashi ji, would you like to share something?
Yeah. I will really ask to. Hello. Yeah.
Yes.
So as it's on recording, and right now where I am, I can't switch on my video, so it'll be fine. I'll keep on interacting definitely. So please excuse me for that. Thank you.
Absolutely, it's your choice. I say this because I must, because that's the whole design of the program. The idea is that this is an interaction. It is basically applying the learnings. There's enough information that you and me have, and I don't intend to again overwhelm with more of information. So it's rather a practice which we can bring forth, and that's something will really make this meaningful, because that is the only time when we will remember and make use of it in our life. We want to benefit out of it.
I completely understand, and I really appreciate your understanding, and I'm very much there, and I'm in the process. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, I get that. So thank you for your participation. Hi, Fatoma. Welcome to the session. Would you like to say a hello? If you could switch on your camera, that will be really good. That will be really appreciated.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very well. Thank you. And welcome to the session.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So would you like to share something?
I'm just excited to know what I'm gonna learn today.
Okay. And where are you joining from?
From Egypt, Cairo.
Egypt. And are you part of the Beam family, or you're part of the Ancient Wisdom?
Yes, I'm a part of the Beam family.
Okay, great. Okay, so that's perfect, really amazing. Let's do a quick prayer. This is an invocation. We call it as invocation prayer. Invocation prayer is intended so that we are focused with our energies. We bring focus, and then we connect with our highest energy, our best version, our truest self, and then we are in a protection zone where whatever information that we are sharing, that or we are listening, that completely resonates and it uplifts our journey. The idea is that we move forward. Okay, so I'll just quickly play an invocation, and just let me know if you do hear the sound. I'm going to be playing some sound, and I'll also share text for that.
In the name of the I am that I am.
I call for the full power of the light of God that never fails.
Can you hear this?
Let the mighty threefold flame that burns.
Can you hear the sound?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Just let me quickly share the screen also with you. Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can.
You can do it along. You can be on mute or you can do it along. Both ways is fine. I'm going to just play it now.
In the name of the I am that I am, I call for the full power of the light of God that never fails. Let the mighty threefold flame that burns upon the altar of our heart now so be filled with the light of the blue lotus and the temple of the blue lotus. Let it be filled now by the mighty action of that retreat. Beloved great causal body of beloved Lord Himalaya, O mighty action of the light, descend now for the multiplication of the flame of the resurrection and the flame of freedom, the flame of the will of God of the Manus, unto all members of the fourth root race. Beloved Serapis Bey, beloved Gabriel and Hope, beloved mighty Estrella and Purity, we call for an absolute God victorious invincible momentum of the flame of cosmic purity, the flame of the blue lotus, the flame of white fire and blue lightning to descend into the very heart of the earth for the cleansing of all members of the fourth root race, of cause, effect, or record and memory of their straying from the path of Lord Himalaya on Lemuria and subsequently in their incarnations. O Lords of Flame, Sanat Kumara, 7 holy Kumaras, 7 beloved archangels and Elohim, we call thee forth now in the name of the Ancient of Days. Come forth now, O mighty ones. Come forth now, O mighty ones. Come forth for the consecration of the victory and the ascension in the light of the fourth root race. We thank thee and accept it on this hour in full power. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Okay. So we do an invocation so that we connect with the highest of our energies and we can make best use of our time, and we receive this information very well because these informations are mystic. All these teachings are mystic and they are non-linear. So understanding them with our human consciousness is human mind is not really possible. We only can connect it when we are connected with our heart, so to say. All right, so yeah, we have Harjeet Kaur. Hello, Harjeet ji. Welcome to the session. I think this is the first time that you are connecting. You're on mute.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. Nice meeting you. Nice.
Okay, great. Are you part of the ancient wisdom, or how did you come to know about this session?
I've been on this breath meditation group for a long time now, and Nalini Ben guided me that you're very good and let's participate.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, she had mentioned earlier that she's expecting you. Okay, so welcome. This might be a very, we are on the little level 2 right now of these teachings. So we have actually had a couple of sessions. So this might be, I would invite all of you to just be here with an open heart and open mind, and the information will resonate to you, absolutely. And then also, you might want to, if it resonates to you, you might want to also listen to the earlier videos. You might want to visit the earlier videos, which are, talking about the origin. We have had a couple of sessions in the last 3 months, every week, in which we have spoken about the origin, from where we originated, okay, from where our soul was created, how the soul was created, what is the origin of that, and what is the actual, this creation happened. And we'll talk something about this, how the golden age ended today, why the fear is so much prevalent, and this soul was created, and why it was brought to the planet Earth, and what was the purpose of it coming here, and then how did we lose our connection with the soul purpose. Okay, and then each of mm, uh, the the elements of soul, which are basically, all the elements of our soul are coming from the God. We are part of God. We have spoken about them, the different rays, different God qualities. uh, there are 7 rays, in fact, and then 5 secret rays, but then we have spoken about each ray in depth, and then all that assessments have been done. But then, by speaking about all this, it's helping us to be aware of who we are. The intention is that you can keep at the back burner, while you are present, all of you, at the back burner of your mind, to keep this question. I keep this question all the time, and I'm really challenged as I speak to you honestly right now myself, to really learn this. I'm really keenly seeking, because as and when we start to learn who we are, so the questions that we can keep at the back burner is, who am I, and why am I here? It's a very basic question. I'm sure. I mean, you will have your own. Every answer is okay. Is valid, but then that's an important question, very important question. So, and we will discover every time when we ask this question, we'll be surprised by the answers that we get. Who we are, who am I, and why am I here? So keep that at the back burner. I invite you, and you're most welcome if you have, if you wish to share anything that comes to you, um, and you would like to, talk about what you are experiencing, or just to share about what would you, whatever you feel about this question, that's fine, absolutely fine. So I'll speak. Today we will be talking about the fear. Okay. And normally, if you ask me, from my brief introduction, or my brief presence into this domain of spirituality of around 2 years, we usually don't talk about fear or death, and rightly so. We must not. We must talk about lifting energies. That's absolutely a valid thing. We must do that. However, for us to connect with our highest energies, we also must know, and this is something which I'm sharing from ascended masters. So these teachings which we are speaking today are directly shared by ascended masters, and these teachings have been there on the planet from eons of years. And the ascended masters choose messengers who have been on the planet, who have prepared from lifetimes to lifetimes, so that they can hold this, their body, the vessel, and in the such purest form that they can actually receive information from ascended masters, and they can walk that journey. And as we speak, whatever I'm telling you, so many things will unfold. I just invite you to stay connected and be here. So welcome. We have one more participant. Welcome, Swati ji. Welcome to the session. And I invite all of you to switch on your camera, if it's possible for you, because that will be really interactive. and then it's your choice. Okay, so how did fear? I mean, in the golden age there was no fear, quite honestly, and I had been doing a little, research and speaking to some people to understand about golden ages. So I still do not have a firm count, but there had been multiple golden ages. There are, there are mention of golden ages in the Hindu transcripts, in the Bible transcripts, and in some other transcripts. So one of the mention of golden age in Bible transcripts is of Atlantis, and then in Hindu it is of the golden age of Sat Yuga, and then there is another mention of Lemuria, okay, of golden age, and then there was a golden age where we now, as we know it, it's Sahara Desert, right? So the Sahara Desert was Sahara Valley, and that was approximately 50,000 years ago. And Saint Germain, he is an ascended master, and Saint Germain this is Aquarian age, and in the Aquarian age, Saint Germain is the master. He is the lord of the Aquarian age. We have finished the Piscean age, and Jesus Christ was the lord or the master for the whole world for the Piscean age, and Saint Germain was the ruler in that particular time of Sahara Valley. So I mean, I could find out a couple of golden ages, but there was no sense of fear at that point of time during the time of golden ages. Okay, how did fear come? From where did fear generate? What is the genesis of fear? Because as I'm going to say that briefly, as we, and there's a whole depth of information about that in earlier sessions, as we are sons and daughters of God, okay, I never knew that. I mean, for me, my bloodline is, the closest that I can associate with my siblings and my parents, and then maybe, grandparents and so forth. But then there is a deeper relationship that every human being has. And I just never knew it, that I am the son of God, and all of us are sons and daughters of God. Okay. And that is so beautiful. I mean, so beautiful, because we have all the qualities. What I'm trying to say, we have all the qualities which God has. So God created us. So we are the mirror image of God. And we never ever had any negativity. We never ever had any experience of any fear, lack, whatever you may call it. So I would say that at one point of time, there was where we were from that particular point of time and where we are right now. There has been a big shift. So we will be talking about the shift from the baseline today. Okay, how we reached where we are today. So let me bring about one of the, and I don't know whether this was the last, but this was one of the time when the golden ages, when one of the golden age was ended. Okay, and then when that golden age ended, this specific mode of life started to prevail for everybody. And I can say this is not very, very old, because this is one of the one which is present in our scriptures. It's also, it has a mention in the Bible. So, and that is why I'm quoting this one. But there, whatever I'm going to be sharing about this golden age, the idea is that I'm sharing to you how we fell from the baseline to where we are right now. Okay, and whatever I'm sharing in this particular, I'm depicting this real incidents. This are applicable to every golden age, because we must understand that this is not the first time. there were many golden ages which ended up, and then we got a new opportunity, and the form had to start from the beginning, from the scratch, and then rebuild itself to a stage wherever they come. And then there is a point when the time when humanity again goes through this is a cyclic motion which keeps happening. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about Adam and Eve. I'm not sure if everybody knows, but most of us have heard about Adam and Eve, right? Can we agree on it? Most of us know. Okay, so it makes a wise choice to talk about it, because that is also one of the in-depth golden age which has been described, and all of them are identical in the nature of how the golden age ends. So Adam and Eve they were twin flames. Okay, and twin flame twin flame means, it's a very, very scientific thing. I would really wish if you could actually visit earlier videos to know more about it, in which I have spoken in maybe the third session, and we have done around 15 plus sessions. And twin flame is nothing but, it is a single soul. A soul consists, a spirit spark. The seed of the soul is nothing but a spirit spark. It consists of feminine and masculine, like a yin and yang. They are positive and negative, and they always are, complementary to each other. At one point of time, so twin flames exist in complement to each other. That's the main premise, the fundamental premise. Okay, masculine and feminine. In the golden age, that was very, very natural, organic, that twin flames used to exist together. Now the twin flames have been split. We are in a very, very different age, and the goal is that we reach to a stage where we evolve and we meet our twin flame. But that's a very long topic. But yes, that's the whole idea. Now, Adam and Eve, who were twin flames living together, they were in a school which was governed, which was administered by Maitreya Buddha. I think most of us are familiar with Maitreya Buddha, right? Yeah, some of us are.
Can I ask something right now?
Please do. You can.
So I just want to know, when you talk about twin flame, and you said that now we have separated from the golden age, and now we are at that stage of evolution where we meet our twin flame. Does this hold good for everyone?
Not meet our twin flame. I said that the goal is that we reach to a stage where we evolve, and then we meet our twin flame. So we are at a stage. It's when you say it is applicable to all. Please elaborate. What do you mean by that?
Is it applicable to all human beings?
Yes.
And is it that all human beings exist as a split twin soul?
Yes, that's true. Oh. You know why? I'll briefly answer this. It's a very deep study, and I'll love to speak at depth about it, maybe in one another session. And we can connect separately if you wish to know more about it sooner. But I'll answer this briefly. The reason why we are separate, why we are separated from the twin flame simply is because we have went through a lot of karmic impact on ourselves. And right now we exist at a stage where life is misery, it's pain, it's suffering. Okay, and it's not meant to be like that. Life is not meant to be like that. How much ever we may say that life is great, but real greatness and the real living God qualities is a bliss. That's our goal. Now, yes, why we all are separated from our twin flames, and it's applicable to every human being. And when we continue to balance our karmas, eventually what happens is we are, because of the connection, it's a very pure connection with our twin flame, we are getting closer to our twin flame. I must tell you briefly that all the effort that you take, so our bodies are immaterial. You being a female, I being a male is immaterial. But at a soul level, we could be, at anything. We could be a masculine or a feminine. That's and I won't. I don't have information or knowledge about that at the moment. How do we distinguish that? Yeah, but what I'm saying is that at this level where we are, when we work on our karmas, if I work on my karma, you work on your karma, you are assisting and supporting your twin flame to balance their karma also. And that's the purest connection that we have. And the time from when we separated from our twin flame was the time when that there was a fall of the golden age. And we continued to mix with different fallen angels. It's a very, very, long process, but very, very clearly stated in the Ascended Masters knowledge. And you can also visit various websites. I can share them with you today from where I have also learned. Okay.
Oh,
And
that will be really great if you can share it in the chat box or otherwise.
I will do before the end of
Thank
the session.
you.
And the gradient step that we take is from this journey. First connection that we experience right now is our connection with, usually I'm just saying, is usually with our partner, which is our we marry. Okay, we form a relationship, and that becomes our family. We become couples. That becomes our family. That's the relationship that we experience as humans. We do that. Okay. And there is a next level of relationship, which is our soulmate. And soulmate does not mean that you have to get married or you have to have a couple relationship. However, it could be there are multiple examples where that is true, where you find your soulmate. So I'm just giving you a very brief chronology how it works. So this is a gradient in which people progress. Many people, I know few of them who have met their soulmate, and they decided to get married. And there must be many who know their soulmates, but they're not married. And I know some of them. I have some friends in America. So a soulmate is a more deeper connection than a couple. A soulmate experiences each other's pain. They are selfless to forward the journey of each other, because they connect through only directly to the our inner self, our soul level. Okay. And that's about what I want to say briefly. And then it would be multiple soulmates. And then we move to the next level, which is the twin flame. So twin flame is always one. There's only one twin flame. Everybody has only one twin flame. And when we reach to that stage of reaching to our twin flame, it usually happens that it could be our last karmic birth. Usually. It for some people, it happens even after completing their cycle of karma, and they are at the etheric plane. But meeting the twin flame is a very strong indication that we have reached to a stage of very, very close to our ascension process. I'm just giving you a very high level response, but yes, it's a very deep study.
No, I totally understand that, and thank you so much for sharing that. And the way you said, I have kept all my understanding at the back burner. I'm just with you, and I'm just trying to, and also that that it means to find your twin soul. The priority is to work on your karma. That meeting your twin soul will happen eventually, and that will be the indication that this is your last existence, and then you have merged with your twin soul, and you have liberated. Is it?
We should work not backwards, but in the forward direction, because there are many things that we would experience during our ascension process. So there have been teachings in which we have been taught how to read our etheric aura, okay, the auric colors, which helps us to understand that where we are. Like, different colors indicate our progress, okay, in our journey, or you could say that indicates our purity. And then there are many other processes. Now the thing is that as per Ascended Masters, they have guided. So there are some people who also directly meet the masters. There are certain masters who have not been who chose not to ascend. Okay, but they have come, so they exist in the etheric plane, and they have much more access to humanity. They can meet people because they're not physical in their body, but they can convert into physical body at their will, and then also disappear. So there are many of them. I know about Kuan Yin. I know about Guru Nanak Ji. I know about Maha Avatar Baba Ji. I know about his sister Mata Ji. And there's a lineage of unascended masters. There are many. So they actually meet people. They can come in the physical form and meet them. And they so many people have had that experience where they have met some of the masters and directly had a conversation with them face to face. And ascended masters have told, when I say ascended masters, I mean the whole body of Great White Brotherhood, okay, which means unascended masters, ascended masters, angels, Elohims, and Chohans, all of them, okay. And I don't have enough time to explain you about each one of them, but then you can visit the previous lectures, and I have given a session on each one of them. Okay, so they have told that we mustn't invest our time in, spend our time in, to get these experiences. Like I would want to learn to see where I have reached or you have reached in your journey of enlightenment. Because some people read and they tell, okay, you have moved from the stage of initiate to the stage of adapt, and then you have become senior adapt, and then you have become somebody who is in the stage of learning 5 secret ways. It's a very advanced stage. And then of course about meeting unascended masters. So they have said that we mustn't spend our energy, or like as you said about twin flame. So they have said that we mustn't spend our energy on finding this, because what happens is, because our human brain, these teachings are very mystical. I am experiencing it in a big time right now. Okay, and I'm really challenged in my current life currently right now, how to progress and maintain this progress. Because as you come to know, as the knowledge opens up, it becomes a bigger responsibility to be very careful in choosing your right actions, your right thoughts, and your right words. So that's all. I mean, I'm just trying to mention briefly that Ascend Masters have mentioned that we must focus on our progress towards ascension. And these things are, deviating. They can deviate us, while our human brain can take over. It's very, very, we are susceptible to that. Till the time we have reached 100% of balancing of karmas, we are always prone to descend. Like snakes and ladders, you reach to 98%, and then suddenly you fall back. So people have, and it's very common, it's not one or two, most of the people have reached to balancing their karmas to a very great degree, and then in specific lifetime they have fallen so back that they have to again take birth at least 10 times or more than 20 times. And one of the
Hello?
masters have shared about that, which is Elizabeth Clear Prophet. So I hope I answered
Excuse
your
me?
question.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yes, please tell me.
Excuse me, can I ask a question, please?
Okay, please go ahead. Yeah, you're most welcome.
Thank you. Just to make sure that I understand carefully, first of all, I want to know if the aim of this session is talking about fear,
Yeah.
and how to, for example, get rid of it, or how to something like that, or is it right what I understand?
You are right, and as we speak, we were working on that. I'm going to be setting up a basic kind of norm for question and answer. So let us do this. This was a very spontaneous question coming from Shashi, and I picked it up. But how it works usually is that we complete a portion, and
Understand
usually,
what point, because I have joined. I want to make sure that I have joined because I want to to get rid of fear or to know more about fear. So is this the path to the same thing, or?
Absolutely. The answer is yes. We are
Okay.
talking about fear today. Yeah.
Okay, so concerning when you talked about soulmate, I had a question. Do you think that each one of us had to have only one soulmate, or it happens that you could have more than one soulmate?
You can have many soulmates. It's not just
Yes.
one. Because our energies keep shifting from one point to another point, and our soul has its own journey. Our highest connection is beyond soul. It's at our I am presence. So soul is an intermediate. It's basically a transducer level energy. If you look at the evolution of our ourselves, we have come from the highest self, which is the God self, to the from God self to the higher self, and then from the higher self we have come to Jivatma, which is the current state where we are right now. So soul is at the level of higher self, which is also called as our intuitive mind or our inner child.
So it is like close to the idea of that we are all connected, right?
Yes, absolutely, we are all connected. Is absolutely yes, we are.
Okay.
Do we
Thank you.
experience it? Well, that's another question.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll take up questions after we finish one specific portion, okay? So that we cover a portion and then we are all on the same page. And we'll also try to stick to the topic. Yeah. So all so far good. So let's proceed. I was talking about the genesis of fear, and I was just picking up one of the golden ages, and which is one which I could also know much about, and most of the people also know most about. But there are many golden ages, and the same principle or the allegoricity. So allegorically means that the same kind of analogy applies to all these kind of golden ages. Okay, so I was talking about the age of Eve, Adam and Eve, where they as twin flames were in the school which was administered by Maitreya Buddha. Maitreya Buddha was the master of that mystery school. Okay, where, and it's also called as the Garden of Eden. In Hindi, we call it as an ashram. So this school, the mystery school, the Garden of Eden or ashram, was being administered by Maitreya Buddha, and there were many different tests that he had given to his students. Now, one of the things that he instructed, I'm coming directly to the point. One of the things that he had instructed his students was that you mustn't. So there are many trees in the ashram, okay, in the Garden of Eden, and all these trees, they have fruits, and these fruits are really amazing. I mean, you can, all of them were told that you can go and eat fruits, and that's okay, but you mustn't eat the fruit in the you mustn't eat the fruit of the tree which is in the center of the garden. Okay. And he did not give them the reason why, because they were students, and as students they must know something which they are ready to know. So that much they were ready to know. Whatever information they are ready to know will be shared by the master. So now in the golden age, it was very everything was very there was 100%, everything was 100%. We used to live in singularity. So when the master says, the students follow. And the beautiful thing is that at golden age also, when we are at the pure stage, we are still learning. So when we ascend, we still continue to learn. So our learning never ends, so our journey never finishes. That's so nice, right? So now, like Adam and Eve, there were so many other twin flames. Now, they received this instruction to not to eat fruits from the center, the tree which is in the center of the ashram. But what happened was that Adam and Eve, they became curious, and there were many other couples, many other twin flames. When I mean couples, twin flames, who became tempted. And there's a mention about this in the scripts, in our ancient scripts, that they became tempted by the snake. So there are certain terms which are used. These all terms are used as analogies. Okay, they are allegorically used. When they talk about snakes, it depicts the dweller. It represents the dweller. Okay, so the dweller is nothing but the mind, and mind always rationalizes. So mind is used as represented as snake, because mind is rationalizing things, and that is also the dweller. Okay, it rationalizes everything. Now that snake is present in all of us. Now we need to know how to tame that and how to use it. It is beautiful if it has to be used. We can do discoveries. We can, make great things happen. We rationalize and take the right action through mind only. We apologize, and we experience many other things. We take many actions through that. But now, mostly the mind works is it is controlled by the dweller. I mean, it always rationalizes, and it never approaches to the highest of the reasons of anything. It always rationalizing is a lower form of understanding things. This mind, which is present in all of us, is very, very cunning, and it's actually detrimental to in a certain aspect. Now the snake told them, now it's very important for you to listen to this small word, told them to go ahead and taste a little. You surely will not die. Now, the word is surely, but we have to listen to this carefully. And I'm talking from the study which I have done. This word was explained in detail. What do you mean by surely? When the mind said that go ahead, taste a little, you surely will not die. It means mind tells things which the vocabulary, okay, the grammar, which usually is like this will never happen, this is always like this surely will not happen. This is the immediate intervention of the mind. And when the mind use this word surely, you will not die, that is the trigger point where the feminine counterpart, Eve, she decided that she will eat this apple. Okay, and she took a bite of the apple, and then after that she gave it to Adam, and then he also took a bite of that apple. Now what does that mean? Now this is nothing but a pattern which I was telling you. This is a allegorically numerous golden ages happened in the same pattern. So as soon as they ate this apple, what happened was, now I'm using some terminology which is more like analogy. Okay, not in literal English grammar, but it's a terminology which I have picked it up from the scripts. Okay, these scripts. So they were, until this point when they ate this apple, they were naked till that point. Which means, what does it mean? Naked means that they were totally one with their I am presence, with their God self. Okay, and that God self is in all of us. So, but they were one with that, and that's the highest form to reach for an individual. So they were already at that stage, at their I am presence. They were with their God consciousness. So, but when they ate the fruit, they realized that they have become impure. That's a very important thing. Now, the realization of impurity is being compared in the scripts by that of staining their clothes. It's like they have stained their clothes. So the impurity came in them. You know, when a mother, she catches her child doing something which she has instructed not to do, and the child becomes scared out of fear. Oh, this is something wrong that I have done, and rightly so. This scare, that's the scare that Eve and Adam actually experienced that point of time. Okay, why? Because they did something which they were instructed not to do. So they suddenly realized, that's the moment that they realized that their clothes have stained, impurity had come in them. That was the moment of fear. They experienced shame for the first time, which they never knew. This feeling which they never knew existed, it became real for them. I will tell you, uh, this is some important point that I'm emphasizing, and I will tell you. Please remember my words, what I'm saying right now, okay? The purity in which they were living, it got now moved to a state of impurity, where they started experiencing this fear, and they started experiencing shame, and they started questioning, how come we are naked, so to say, okay, analogically, so to say, in a depiction way. And so then what they did was they hid behind the tree. Now, this whole aspect of fear and shame and guilt and this thought of they getting impure has come to them. It wasn't there earlier. It never existed. Okay. Please remember this point, and I'll come to this point after some time. And I'll tell you what I mean by this. Now then, Master came, Maitreya Buddha came, and he said that, okay, where are you guys? I can't see you. So they were hidden. They hid behind the tree, and they said that now we are afraid, because we have done something which we are ashamed of, and we ate a fruit from the center of the tree. Now, because of their disobedience, they cast themselves out of the mystery school. The mystery school is the school of working on God qualities, to hone, because that's a very advanced school, to continue to hone on doing things which are how God wants us to do. Okay, learning them. They casted themselves out of that school, and they came to the lower ether. The lower ethers are the ethers of earth, and many of the, it was not one. They were, and I don't know the numbers, I had tried to find out, but there could be millions, there could be billions, but there were many of them who casted out of that school, and then they came to the lower ethers of the planet. So because this is a allegorical kind of, or analogical kind of a depiction of the whole scenario, so we don't know the numbers, but this happened, and then they came down to the lower ethers of the planet. The lower ethers are basically earth. They came down to lower ethers, lower levels of earth, and until they did not. So what happened was, to come down to the lower ethers, they had to start to, now until then, I'm sure you have heard about violet flame, but it's not important if you have not. But if you have heard about violet flame is the shortest distance between a problem and a solution. Okay. Until then, they always used to get what they want. They just used to visualize. They used to get food. Visualize. They used to get, I don't know, some experience. But things were not the same. It was not about physical work. Even these bodies were not like that physical, because we have this experience of physicalness. It wasn't so. The existence was in etheric level, not physical body level. Our bodies are the lowest level of, and have spoken about that. This is the lowest level of layer that we have. The 4 layers, the lowest layer, 4 lower layers are connected to our physical, etheric, mental, emotional, physical. That's the lowest form of being. And then comes the next form is the Atman, and then comes the I am presence, and then causal body. I mean, like that. That's the way we move further in our energy pattern, or our energy levels. Okay. Now, when they dropped to this energy level, they had to start to earn livelihood. They never knew all this, that they have to earn. They have to do physical work, and they have to earn their living. But then they reached to a stage where they had to earn. So now people live like this. The way we live is we have to spend our energy for survival. This is a survival world. We talk about livelihood. I have to take care of my livelihood. That is not the objective, was not the objective until then for them. So that is when, now I was talking about the baseline. This is where the baseline changed. Now this was the beginning of the fall of the golden age. From henceforth, from there the golden age fell. Okay. If you have any question, you can ask. Otherwise, I'll move to the next section quickly.
You can move. So far, so
Okay.
good.
Yeah. So thank you so much. Thank you for confirming. So fear, Ascended Masters have told us that about fear, specifically about fear, is a combination of doubt and fear. In Hindi, in specifically Hindu mythology, and there is a deep science in which we have studied about Rahu and Ketu. So I have not checked, but I can get back and tell you. In the group, I will mention about Rahu and Ketu, their English names. If you are aware, please share, please do. But Rahu and Ketu are depicted by fear and doubt. Okay, so Rahu and Ketu are considered to be the deadliest combination in the physical realm. Astrologically, when a person is in his period in which he has an impact of these planets of Rahu and Ketu, it's the most toughest phase of a human being. So I'm trying to tell you, the Ascended Masters have told us about fear. Now, fear is the number one enemy to regain our lost paradise, which means to regain our connection back with our I am presence. Okay, just give me one moment. I'll just take care of the background noise. Give me one quick moment, please. I'm so sorry about the background noise. I have a dog and she has her free will. So she has a free will in the middle of night also. Okay. So I was talking about the fear. So fear, Ascended Masters have told that fear and doubt is the number one enemy to regain our lost paradise. So what does that mean? Is to regain our lost paradise is to get our connection back to our I am presence. Okay. So for those of you who are new to these teachings, please continue to just be open with open heart and open mind. I will answer your questions as much as you like, but just hear this out first, because I am like that. I want to clarify everything. I would ask questions about everything. So, anyways, so now telling that why we say this is because now this is another concept which perhaps we will take one more session sometime later. But fear and doubt is the number one. Okay, it is there on every line of the cosmic clock. So there is something called as a cosmic clock, and the cosmic clock has just like clock, it has 12 different 12 different angles to it. Okay, or lines to it. On each line, each specific line, there are different perversions. Perversions are nothing but experiences, you can call them as our bad habits. I'm just using simple grammar. You can consider as bad human habits. Each perversion, like for example, lying, somebody has, or rage, anger. So we have different bad habits which we don't even know, which are coming from lifetimes to lifetimes. So, and cosmic clock has 12 different angles to it, and each line has different bad habits, and it has contrary to that, it has qualities also, God qualities also. So only this fear and doubt is the one which exists on every single clock, every single line of the cosmic clock. And people, they continue in this cycle until they move, they complete their lessons. So that is why it is a cosmic clock. We might take birth, have you heard, this is a common thing, that we experience similar kind of experiences, we go through similar kind of experiences even in lifetime to lifetime. Even though it's the high-tech age, we will experience similar lessons. Nothing changes. Nothing practically changes. I mean, does the telephone change the way we can talk, or the way we can understand people? It doesn't. Having aeroplane, does it help us to really get connected wherever we want to with people from inside? I mean, there's a different question about all these things, but technology helps, and we can use it. But essentially, we only move forward through our experiences, through learning our lessons. So fear, I was just talking about the fear and doubt, are the number one enemy, okay, to regain our lost paradise. And they exist on every line of the cosmic clock. So this doesn't lead any good, that doesn't let any good come in life, okay. Rahu and Ketu, they block the flow of our energy, and they block the connection with our God consciousness, our I am presence. So we can never experience the God energy. What we can do is, we can first recognize, we have to recognize that this is fear and doubt, okay, and then master. They have given us the tools. All ascended masters have given us the tools. Use those tools to get rid of them. So I'll tell you some of them. One other thing before that, I will tell you. When you see rebellion, there is a rebellion happening, and there's so much rebellion happening in the current world also, current state also. Rebellion is a very worst form of fear and doubt. Okay, so fear and doubt really, when we experience fear and doubt and we let it continue, it reaches to a state of rebellion. It's a very later stage of fear and doubt. So we must understand that's a very downward spiral. Okay. Now there is a ascended master by the name of Ray-O-Light. Okay, I'm just pasting his name, and you can always check about him in encyclopedia, which I will share with you. The URL for encyclopedia I will share with you, which you can check later. Okay, I'll share afterwards. But Ray-O-Light is an ascended master who has spoken about a brilliant white flame tinged in green. It's an activity of the fourth and the fifth ray. Okay, and ray of light, he focuses on the fearlessness flame. Okay, piercing white light tinged with the emerald green. Ray of light assists Lord Sanat Kumara, Lord Maitreya, and Jesus Christ to bind the seed of the wicked. He also works with, so there is one ascended master who has not given his name, but he's given his number because that's how he prefers. He also works with K17 and Lenelo. Ray of Light and his legions of fearlessness flame angels will come in answer to your call. Now, I would like to talk briefly about a decree. Fatoma was asking how to get rid of fear and doubt. So if we continue with certain tools given by ascended masters, they will help us. But just to give you a basic starting point about how to pierce through this is to know one thing. Okay, I've made a note of it also. Is basically all the fear and doubt is nothing but unreal. It is nothing but evil energy. Okay, and evil is not real, and its appearance has no power. And there is a very nice video about this. I will share in the group. We won't have enough time to play that now, but then in that Elizabeth Clare Prophet has spoken, and she has said that evil is not real. Its appearance has no power. It's not real. Yes, it sounds to be real. When we encounter it, it really feels real. I have experienced it. I am experiencing it more now, because as we grow in our energy, the our own dark energies, you may call it dark energies, shadow, whatever, but below our electronic belt, they get more activated. And then the fallen angels strategy is that they can wrap us around in that energy, and then we get more inclined towards that kind of energy. So we must learn to get up. Falling down 100 times is okay, but we must get up 101 times, and that's all we need to continue to do. And these tools which I'm telling you, so one of the tool is knowledge. Okay, knowing something liberates. It's very important for us to know. I mean, I never knew so many things that I'm reading now and I'm learning about, and it is so helpful. One of the things which Ascended Masters say is that we mustn't condemn. Making a mistake is okay. Okay, this we must learn. Okay, there were certain things which, through this testimony that we have spoken about Adam and Eve, helps us to learn. We must learn that making a mistake is okay. Ascended Masters have told us that you are children and daughter of God. It's okay to make a mistake, but learn from the mistake. So making a mistake and apologizing is okay, and we should not condemn. We should not condemn another person. We should not condemn ourselves. So in a spiritual way, we must learn spiritual meaning of self-love. That's the first step. We must learn to forgive ourselves, to love ourselves, and then we must learn to forgive others and love others. And if we love ourselves, if we have compassion for ourselves, we will have compassion for another also. It sounds very simple. I can tell you, because the way I understood self-love was very different. But now when I'm rediscovering from the Ascended Master's perspective, it is very different. Self-love is not about self-narcissism, or it's not about me being over another, better over another. It's a very deeper thing to do. It's a very deeper connection with our soul. Khalil Gibral, he said that all the stress and the diseases are nothing but mismanagement of the soul. So what he was meaning is that we must understand that what our soul needs, and there are times when nobody can help us. From lifetime to lifetime, what we have learned, and we only learned from our elders, and they only learned from their elders. So whatever we have learned wasn't enough. They were not fully informed about how life should be. Okay, so there is a limitation to the way we see things. So forgiving self, forgiving another is so important. And how to manage our soul is basically by understanding the enlightened self-interest. Now, through the normal course of life, when I make an error and you feel that this is not okay, and then I hold an apology to you, or you feel that there is something that I must fix, that's okay. But from Ascended Master's perspective, You mustn't hold your energy back because of this, because of my error, because that will engulf your energy, and you will also get that same energy. I will engulf you in my energy. Enlightened self-trust is a word, you can remember it, is a higher state of being in which you are not looking for a mass. Can you be on mute, sister? Fatama? Okay, I think I can. Can you be on mute, sister? Hi. Yeah, okay, thank you. Right, so we must learn that enlightened self-trust is much beyond any other human ways of creating justice. It's not just justice, it's also a deeper thing than justice. Okay, we must learn this. It's important. It's not enough that we live at that level of human justice and things like that. It's very important. Ending an argument is sometimes important, okay, more than being right, so and so forth. What I was telling is, I mean, my intention to speak to you was that the tools that we have been given are, one is the knowledge. Knowledge liberates us, so we must learn the right things, continue to do that. Okay, number two is about the knowledge of the spoken word. I mean, that's again, when you do decrease, the spoken word is I am that I am. That's again, part of it is like to know who we are, and the part of it is to do decrease. So doing the decrease, this is the second thing. Okay, you can do decrease. Ascended masters have given it. They are simple fiats. They are just communication with the God, and those are the words that we use are so scientific that they so the thing is that ascended masters come to us only when we invite them. They don't come to us because we are in pain or we are suffering, because of the reason, because they have a respect for free will, human free will. But the fallen angels do not care about free will. Fallen angels, they send their energies to everybody, left, right, and center, through any means. It can come to you through TV, through every and any means. Okay, so we must understand ascended masters will not come without we inviting them. Okay, now doing decrease is nothing but inviting the ascended masters and saying a certain set of instructions. And I'm using this word instructions because we have that strength to give them a command, because they are our friends and partners, and we can do that. Like a child can give command to their parents in a pure loving way. They have a right. Give me, this is mine. They will not say, no, no, you have to give me, please, this, that. No, never it happens. It's all theory. Practically, children will say, give it. They will just take it like that. I mean, I'm just trying to make an analogy. We have to say these prayers with authority, not human authority, with command, with demand. So these prayers are said with that kind of intensity, with a command and a demand. And we are saying certain words which are inviting the ascended masters and asking them to take care of whatever we are asking them to take care of. There are more than 1,000 decrees. I have shared books, you can go through those books. And there in one of the book there are more than 500 decrees. Yeah, so do them based upon your requirement. Different requirements have different decrees. So today I will talk about two decrees. One is the 1.30. Okay, so this number which I'm telling you is the number in the decree book, and all of you are part of the ancient wisdom group, right? And if you are not, by chance, I have just shared the link. You are welcome to be part of that group, and all these books and presentations and videos are there in the group already. Okay, so you can join this group and you can go through these videos and book. So I'm going to be talking about decree number 1.30. Let me open the screen. In fact, let me just quickly share a video. So far, so good. Any questions? Any questions? Sister Shashi, Fatuma, Harjeet ji, any questions or?
I have a question, Akashji. So you said
Yes.
that the ascended masters will only follow the free will, and that's how we can, we can connect to them. But supposing we raise our frequency, it said that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, isn't it? So don't the masters themselves, they don't decide who is worthy and who is not according to our raised frequencies, and don't they appear to them?
But give me a moment. Come, Cherry. Okay, my dog wanted to come inside. Yes, she's listening to the session. Okay. Now, see, it is like this, Harjeet ji, that when we do decrees, I mean, when we do certain seva, work of God, okay, we are helping others and we are doing certain things which really helps us to balance our karmas. They definitely help, okay, and it helps us to move forward for sure. And we will receive. I'm sharing my knowledge, okay, and my knowledge is limited so far, so I'm just sharing from what I know. And these people will receive different messages from masters through people, through various means. It could be through signs and all that, okay, to to do the right thing, and through somebody they will receive a message probably to connect with the masters. But masters cannot directly help them. Example, you did some, you're in a very fast track mode. So there is something called as cosmic surgery, okay. In the cosmic surgery, people are on fast track mode, and Gautama Buddha and Jesus Christ and all these saints, they were on that path, okay. And at some point of time, people choose to be in that path. That's very tough. Mother Kuan Yin and all, okay. Even the lessons of love and joy, which is very seems to be very light and most exciting, they become very difficult. I mean, I'm using this word difficult not in the sense of human realm, but they become extremely challenging because the fierceness of the love and joy is very, very intense. Okay, anyways, so now, until, let's say, you reach to a very high state and you're doing a very fast track balancing of karmas, okay, you're doing really good. But when you're in trouble, or whatever the situations, challenges, masters will look after you through people. They will inform you, but they will not be able to help you unless you ask for help. And you don't need to know a decree for that, because this knowledge was taken away from us. There's a long story about that. People misused, they abused the knowledge so much that this whole thing was resurrected more than 50,000 years ago. It's just 250 years ago that this was reintroduced in the place called Chicago, okay. And now he's an ascended master, but that time he was he was in physical body. Godfrey and his twin flame, I forgot her name. So they were given information, and then it was passed on, and then Mark L. Prophet and Elizabeth Clare Prophet and so many of these ascended masters, they picked it up, and they also completed their ascension, and they are ascended masters now. So you could balance your karma, and you can ask from your pure heart that help me. See, because masters say that unless anybody who doesn't ask for help, they are there in their pride. Last lecture, in the last session, I had spoken about 62 facets of pride, and I promise you, you'll be surprised. I was surprised that almost all these pride forms were there in me. I felt that doing this thing is not a being in pride. Not asking a help is not pride. It's doing, help, taking care of things, being responsible. But in a certain way, not asking for help is a pride. Okay, but it is a way of doing things. So unless we ask, we can't reach ascension on our own. Period. Full stop. All these masters have taken help from, because you will start receiving visions, you'll start receiving messages. You will be very, very clear at one stage that you are getting messages from God, from masters. And if you don't honor them, aapko message mila that you must take this action and that action, and if you didn't honor it, you said no, I will do it my own way, then it is my personal this will, then they will not interfere in that, then it is your will, you continue to do that. But all of us need help, and we must reach out to ascended masters. So simple answer to your question is that they will not come to help you unless you ask them. But in any form or the other, not just degrees, people, when they reach to a stage, they always ask. Jesus was in the stage where he told that, Father, where are you? Why have you left me? And that was a stage where he was left without any, that moment is called as dark night of the spirit. It's a way, the term you can do Google and check. You can go to Summit Lighthouse and check. So that's a test actually. I'll put that in the group. Okay, I'll put that in the group. Don't write, it's fine. But then the thing is that everybody needs help. Jesus Christ, he wrote that if he did not have decrees of mighty Astrea, he could not have finished his work that he was assigned to do in that lifetime. So that's the power of it.
So one more question I have. Okay, there have been a lot of masters. If there have been masters trying to connect to the dreams, these ascended masters, and they've been giving messages like written words, alphabets, and clue points. So sometimes we are not aware of how to interpret them, and later we realize I missed a message. I missed the dreams were given. So
there is no accident in this world.
No, unawarely we skipped that. We did not pay attention to this. Do we really miss something, or can we reassess the same thing?
I'll tell you, our life is there as a challenge. This is, we from lifetimes to lifetimes have mixed our ourselves, our DNAs with fallen angels. So we have mixed DNAs. We have a lot of perversions in us. Okay, bad qualities, bad habits. So we will miss many messages, always, every single time. But the whole idea is to tap into the positive aspect as much as we can and make progress. Fall down, again get up and make progress. So there is no one way to know that this message that I have missed, how can I get that message? There is no one way. But the only answer to this question is that if we continue to be determined in our good qualities, so good qualities, see, as children we have learned that we must have good qualities, we must do certain good things, and when we become adults, we kind of exercise our freedom, but then also we forget that the good qualities aspect, we need to continue to have that good qualities aspect. Okay, what about being so innocent and trusting people? What about having so much compassion that we used to have for people? What about just taking instructions and doing the right things where we know that these people are teaching, some teachers and some guides and some coaches, so on and so forth. So it's a noble effort, I would say this word. Continue the noble effort. We will start to see the right messages. See, have you seen so many people telling so many things and then you get confused? Ki, "Arey, kiska suno? This is also right, that is also right, they are also telling, this is also, all that is there, right?" So my point is that we should listen to our heart. We should also remember that when we see that there is negativity coming, we must pray, and if required, we must take help. Taking help is required for everybody. That doesn't mean that we are lethargic and we put it on another person. Everybody has to walk their path. No human being on the planet, doesn't matter who their capacity, what their capacity is, has got this advantage. Everybody is equally advantaged, irrespective of their condition. They can equally walk this path. This path has to be walked alone, period. Make sense? Little bit. Okay. So something about the prayer we were discussing. So I was talking about the prayer 1.30, which is there in the book. Okay, the book is there. You could you join the group and you can the book will be there with you because all these books are shared in the group. So this is called as head, heart, and hand decree. Okay. Now, in this particular one, there is one decree where we talk about I am free from fear and doubt.
I have just joined the group. Will that book be available to me as well?
Of course, it will be. What you would need to do is that you will need to go to, not now, please, later. You will have to go to the description of the group, and in the description you would find the the link, and that link will give you access to all the books and the videos and all the documents and presentations in the past. So do that later. Yeah, I'm sharing my screen. So this is a decree. It is called as a decree of supply. Okay, so can you see the screen?
Yes, we can see the screen.
Okay, so we will do this decree quickly. I mean, not a big one, but we can just do it quickly. We'll do it 3 times. You can also read it along with me, or you can read it in your mind. That's fine. But we must do it in this tone. I am free from fear and doubt, casting want and misery out, knowing now all good supply ever comes from realms on high. I am the hand of God's own fortune, flooding forth the treasures of light, now receiving full abundance to supply each need of life. I am free from fear and doubt, casting want and misery out, knowing now all good supply ever comes from realms on high. I am the hand of God's own fortune, flooding forth the treasures of light, now receiving full abundance to supply each need of life. I am free from fear and doubt, casting want and misery out, knowing now all good supply ever comes from realms on high. I am the hand of God's own fortune, flooding forth the treasures of light, now receiving full abundance to supply each need of life. So what this decree says is that whatever I want, I can receive, but I must be first free from fear and doubt. God, help me. I am that I am. My God. This is I am my own God. Okay. God is free from fear and doubt. So I am the God. I am free from fear and doubt. My God never fears anybody. It is only my humanness which fears. And then you remember the casting out in the initial time I was telling you about. That is the thing that we want to remove now. Casting want and misery out, meaning that I am making sure that with this decree, with this command, or the request, or not a request, I'm giving a command to my God self. I am ensuring that I'm pulling out this negative habit from out of me, that I want to live in this addiction of misery. I want to live in this addiction of want. Okay, I don't need. The God's message is that whatever we desire, we will receive. Whatever is best for us, we will receive in abundance. So we don't have to struggle for it. Knowing now all good supply. See, when you remove this fear and doubt, then you don't need to worry about desires and wants like that. But how you receive is this: knowing now all good supply ever comes from realms on high. So don't worry, you will receive what you must. What is required will be yours. I am the hand of God's own fortune, flooding forth the treasures of light, now receiving full abundance to supply each need of life. So I am the hand of God's own fortune. Means that I am no different than God. Like in the golden age, what we want, we received. I am in that state. I don't have to worry about my fortune. I will receive it. I don't know how, but I will receive it because I am in like that state I was earlier. I am like God. So I don't have to struggle. Okay. Flooding forth the treasures of light, now receiving full abundance to supply each need of life. So that's how we can. This is a very powerful decree. You can do this. I would like to also share with you another decree which is by ray of light. As I was just discussing with you about ray of light, this ascended master. But before that, there is an invocation. So you maybe this is something that none of us, we don't know about invocation, but invocation is kind of a prayer or a request in which, of course, we are doing it in a commanding tone, but in which we are inviting all these gods. So the thing is, why we have to invite them? See, when we invite them, they stand beside us, literally. As many people want, they come to all of them. So because they have, they can be at multiple places. So isn't it good that we have emissaries of ascended masters with us, and then we make a call? Just say I have 10 ascended masters with me, and then I'm making a call. I'm inviting them, please come here, and then I make the call. And whatever call I make, it might be about my health, relationships, finance, so and so forth, anything. There are so many decrees, and I would love to answer your questions, but please ask. I can't answer what you want to know unless you ask, and I will give my best as much as I know. I will, and there is so much that you can actually learn. Beautiful decrees. I would want to take this decree with you. Let's do it together. Is it okay that we do this decree? We can spend 5-6 minutes. We are almost done with our session because
Yes.
it's time. If you all say, then we will do it. Otherwise, we can just close.
No, we can continue.
Okay. Okay, great. Fatuma also, I feel that she's there. So I'm just taking a leverage and continuing. So this is the, okay. Here's the screen. You know what? Let me hold on. Let me do there's a better view of this I can share with you. Yeah, so this is a better view. 1 second, I'm sharing with you. Yeah, let me know if you see the screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, you can make this call along with me. Okay, this I'm answering, also answering a question of Fatoma. Okay, how do you remove fear and doubt? Doing this decree will remove fear and doubt. Knowing that the fear is not real will assist you to not be perplexed. And I'll talk more about that statement later. But then this is one thing which you can do, which can immediately help you to remove fear and doubt. Doing decrees as much as you can helps. And sometimes if you do you do them with your heart. Okay, doing decrees is just one part, but doing them, keeping few things in mind. Remembering that you are protected, you are surrounded by a violet flame, and imaginarily that you're surrounded by a violet flame all through. It is a 9 feet wide globe, or a sphere in which you are encapsulated, and that's one. And then imagining bringing your situation in front of you, whatever that situation is, let's say finances or health or relationships, bringing that forward and doing this decrease with full devotion. Like you have to bring all your situations in front of you and being fully present to that situation and focused on the decree. That's very important, and doing it with command. Okay, bringing that heart fully into it. That helps you to really get power of the decree. If you just do it as a rote routine and just read it out, it's not okay. That hardly makes any difference because you're just trying to read a text. It's not just that. Okay, so let's do it together. Give your full devotion. Let's do it. And you can speak as I speak. And if you want to keep on mute and then speak, that's also fine. But I'm going to be reading today. For today, please bear with my speed. Otherwise, you can do it at your speed, whichever it is fine, whatever is your speed. Beloved, mighty, victorious presence of God, I am in me. O thou beloved, immortal, victorious, threefold flame of eternal truth within my heart. Holy Christ, selves of all mankind, beloved Saint Germain, beloved El Moria, beloved Jesus the Christ, beloved Mother Mary, beloved great God Obedience, beloved Archangel Michael, beloved Cyclopia, great silent watcher, beloved Amaresis, goddess of light, beloved great divine director, mighty Hercules and Arcturus, beloved ascended master Cusco, beloved Ray O Light, beloved mighty Astrea, the cosmic being Victory, beloved Guruma and Lanello, the entire spirit of the great white brotherhood and the world mother elemental life, fire, air, water and earth, in the name of the presence of God which I am, and through the magnetic power of the sacred fire vested in me which I am, consciously qualifying with the fearlessness flame, I decree. Strip us of all doubt and fear. Strip us of all doubt and fear. Strip us of all doubt and fear. Beloved, great I am. Strip us of all doubt and fear. Strip us of all doubt and fear. Strip us of all doubt and fear. Flood us with ocean and fearless flame. Strip us of all doubt and fear. Strip us of all doubt and fear. Strip us of all doubt and fear. Remove each human cause and core. Strip us of all doubt and fear. Strip us of all doubt and fear. Give us faith and strip us of all doubt and fear. Give us faith never known before. Strip us of all doubt and fear. Strip us of all doubt and fear. Strip us of all doubt and fear. Give violet ray freedom to all today. Strip us of all doubt and fear. Strip us of all doubt and fear. Strip us of all doubt and fear. In victory's light, sustain our might. Strip us of all doubt and fear. Strip us of all doubt and fear. Strip us of all doubt and fear. By cosmic I am fire, manifest thy desire. Strip us of all doubt and fear. Strip us of all doubt and fear. Strip us of all doubt and fear. Command the earth now free. Strip us of all doubt and fear. Strip us of all doubt and fear. Strip us of all doubt and fear. Ascend us all to thee. Were you able to follow?
Very powerful.
Okay, so you could do this. Thank you so much. You could do this decree multiple times. And since we are all here, I'm not going to be doing it now, but I'm going to just tell you. I just feel that you should know it because we are together. Start your day with this decree. I do that. Okay, I do that in the morning. What does this mean? It means this decree is 0.01. So what I will do is I will in the group, I'm going to create one document, a small document. In that I will mention the decree name and what is this decree beneficial for. And what I will do is I'll write maybe 10, 12 decrees which are good to go for every single day. So one might choose to do 3 decrees in a day or maybe all 10 of them. But those are the 10, or those are the few decrees which you must do every day. At least couple of them. And then for each day there is a day decree. Like today is Saturday, so Saturday is a violet flame color. A violet flame color is basically impacting our solar violet flame is impacting our seat of the soul, which is our sacral chakra. So we can do some decrees of sacral chakra on Saturdays. But for every single day, I will put which decrees are good for each day. Okay, I'll put that document and you can access that document in the link. So I was just telling you, start your day with this decree. This is a decree which is called as the tube of light decree. Now, why do we need to do this decree as a tube of light? Would you like to do this decree?
Yeah, but Akash, I have one question. So I'm not in the group, I think. I need to be on your group. I cannot access the documents otherwise.
You is this your number 704206738?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Then
No.
what
603, yeah. Harjeet.
Okay. Is this your number 704206738?
No.
It is mine. It is mine, Shashi.
Akash Bhai, I can share Harjeet's Harjeet to your group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Harjeet,
And
you can take
also,
help from
Akash,
Mr. Nalini. Okay.
and
She will
also
help
in
you.
the chat, you have also put the link to join the WhatsApp group.
I have no.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
there in the group.
Yeah. From there only I have joined the group.
Yeah, you can join from there, Harjeet ji.
But Harjeet is not in the beam, Akash Bhai.
No, today's
But
session.
this is not Beam. This is another group. This is Ancient Wisdom group. There is one more group, no, sister. That one.
Yeah,
I have just shared the link.
She's not in either.
Okay, but you can join if you can just access the link. You can join. Take help from Sister Nalini. She can help you out.
Yeah,
It
I'll
won't
do
take
that.
much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I would like to thank you because I have some certain problems with the internet, so it's gonna cut me out or something. So I'd like to thank you before I got disconnected.
Most welcome. It's my pleasure, sister. Anytime.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah. You can always
for all
join
the knowledge
group.
and everything.
You're most welcome, sister. And I have
Yes,
taken
I will recharge the.
Please
sorry.
go ahead. Go ahead. You were saying something.
No, I'm about to be disconnected, so I decided to thank you all and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks to you too. And you're most welcome to join this group. You have the link in the chat, so you can click on the link and join the group so that you can access the new invites on a weekly basis. And there is so much other information that is available through the group, and you can use that at your.
But I wrote a question before leaving. If you can answer it, if you allow me, I can say it quickly.
Okay.
Concerning, yeah, please. Concerning fear that is because of, for example, your parents' atmosphere when you were a child and the way you were brought up. Sometimes it's full of fear and anxiety and this. So it's like something which is out of your hand, and you're brought up this way. You have to fear everything, especially if you weren't brought up in the same country or something. So it was like, as a child, I absorbed a lot of fear, and this affected my life, of course. I lost many chances and many things because the fear I have inside.
I can understand what you mean by this, sister, and I can't actually feel what you're feeling, but then of course I understand because I have my own set of experiences. What could really help is to, one of the things which really helps is to meditate. Okay, and in the Ascended Masters, there is a huge focus on the the Vedanta form of meditation. That's a very basic form of meditation. It focuses on nothingness. Okay, Advaita, we call it as Advaita, and that's the source from the where the life. So before the creation of the cosmos, there was nothing. There was no time. There was no space. There was no form, and that is the stage where we need to start to be experiencing nothingness, which is basically sitting in a still posture and then gradually giving up everything, coming to the stage where you experience having nothing. You have to start to imagine having nothing knowing nothing, being no one.
Yes, yes, I understand.
And
So is it,
and
do you recommend
knowledge of
certain color while meditating, or
I'm sorry.
do you recommend a certain color which I can visualize while meditating, or?
Before the cosmos was created, there was nothing. There was no time, there was no space, there was no form, there was no beginning, there was no end. There was nothing. No knowledge. No human being. There is no being also. Having nothing, knowing nothing. Having nothing, knowing nothing, being no one. When you are no one, when you know nothing, when you have nothing, then you can't have any color or anything. And you have to keep being present to that state, because that dissolves the whole aspect of ego, of body, of mind, of soul, even the soul, everything. because that time there's nothing. But our consciousness is much beyond our soul. I don't know if you knew about it. Our consciousness.
I'm familiar to most of what you're saying, because I'm a Muslim, and we have in our Islam this idea of having knowing nothing, and it's very similar. It's the same, so I understand quite well what you're saying. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, and do the decrees, sister. This will be very powerful. It will help you. Do them with the pure heart, and do them with reverence, and do them visualizing your situation every single time. And remember one thing, sister, that fear and doubt they are not real.
Yes.
Fear and doubt are not real. Fear and doubt are not real. You have to repeat it. And they have no power. They are not real and they have no power. You have to repeat this to yourself. Fear and doubt are not real. They are unreal. And they have no power. They have no appearance. So they get appearance through you, through me. Because we dwell into these subtle energies. And then they take over us. I become that fear and doubt. It was not there. I became that in the first place. Yeah. So we have to give away which was not ours. This was not ours, right? So we have to give it away. Yeah. And because since we are so much dwelled into fear and doubt, meditating will help you to do this. At certain point of time, when you experience a fear, try this as a practice in the beginning. Talk to yourself and then say. So what you do is you talk to yourself and you say that, okay, let's say that you got a fear of speaking on the stage, or you got a fear of making an error with your family member, something you did. I'm just making an example, okay? Don't take it literally. That you said something which was not okay. You are fearful to or feeling ashamed about it. Say that I see you. You tell that I see you. I see my fear. When you say this, that fear loses its power. See, it is only powerful till the time we don't see it. It is operating on us. You can take this physical action if it helps you. For example, I'm just making it up, that you're fearful of made an error with a family member, and now you're feeling ashamed about it, or you're feeling very bad about it, whatever, guilt about it. You say that I see you. I see you. And then whatever has to be done, you do it. Because first you have to see it. Otherwise, it's all in the head. It's taking over us.
Yes.
Are you following what I'm saying?
Yes, I'm following. Yes.
Yeah, that's the way it really goes. It dissolves. Trust me, it does. You can try it out.
Yes, I will try. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you all, and have a good day. Thank you.
You too.
Thank you.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye. Bye. So, shall we close, or you want to do one protection decree?
It'll good we do the degree.
You want to do it? Want to do it?
Yes.
Yes, Akash Bhai, we have a course with Harjit this morning, so we have to get ready for that as well. Harjit is our coach.
Okay.
And she's going to do chakra course today. So I told you about it on my things.
Yes.
We have to now get ready for that course as well.
So
in about, let's say, 10-15 minutes, we are okay, aren't we, Harjit?
Yeah,
This will
10
take 2
minutes are
minutes.
fine. Yeah, sure,
Okay,
sure. Please go
fine.
ahead.
Yeah, so you go ahead, please.
Go ahead.
So all of you can stand up. I will just share the screen, and this is the only decree where we need to stand and do. It's called as a protection decree. So I'll just share my screen. You all can also read it out loud. O my constant loving I am presence, thou light of God above me, whose radiance forms a circle of fire before me to light my way. I am faithfully calling to thee to place a great pillar of light from my own mighty I am God presence all around me right now today. Keep it intact through every passing moment, manifesting as a shimmering shower of God's beautiful light through which nothing human can ever pass. Into this beautiful electric circle of divinely charged energy, direct a swift upsurge of violet fire of freedom's forgiving transmuting flame. Cause the ever-expanding energy of this flame projected downward into the force field of my human energies to completely change every negative condition into the positive polarity of my own great God self. Let the magic of its mercy so purify my world with light that all whom I contact shall always be blessed with the fragrance of violets from God's own heart in memory of the blessed dawning day when all discord, cause, effect, record, and memory is forever changed into the victory of light and the peace of ascended Jesus Christ. I am now constantly accepting the full power of I am now constantly accepting the full power and manifestation of this fiat of light and calling it into instantaneous action by my own God-given free will and the power to accelerate without limit this sacred release of assistance from God's own heart until all men are ascended and God free in the light that never, never, never fails. And in full faith, I consciously accept this manifest. And in full faith, I consciously accept this manifest. And in full faith, I consciously accept this manifest. Right here and now, with full power, eternally sustained, all powerfully active, ever expanding, and world unfolding, until all are wholly ascendant in the light and free. Beloved, I am, beloved, I am, beloved, I am. Amen. Say Amen.
Amen.
Yes, we must say Amen. So this is basically the closing prayer, which also is there. I have shared in the group, in the drive, the Google Drive, and we must use a closing prayer. And why we must use a closing prayer is because what we have done is we have invited the masters, each one of them personally. At least I have my personal experience with few of ascended masters. Like I have my experience with, to name a few, I have with many. At least with the Ganesha, God Ganesha, with El Moria, with the Archangel Michael, with Mighty Astrea, and many, many more. We are inviting them and we are asking them to take care of us. And in this particular prayer, in this decree, we are asking them to protect us. They are protecting us from any negative energy. So that any negative energy that is, see, our purity gets dissolved when we speak to people, we meet people, and because they also don't know, the energy keeps transferring between each other. So this prayer protects us for 24 hours, okay, from any negative energy. So any negative outcome which is more susceptible to happen, it can be deflected, and we are connected with the highest self. So we are in the pure pillar of light where we are protected right now, which helps us to do the things which we want to do. See, at many times when we do good things, we are encountered with many, many problems. People who are in the job of doing some good, or who are really doing, even if they are doing any job, I don't mean to say they are in the business of doing social work, but any job, they are thinking, when they are having a thought that I want to do something good, they will face problems, and this decrees help them to eliminate these kind of problems. When I do some good things, I face so many problems. Sometimes I skip an accident, the cars or the vehicles are on the both the sides and something is happening. These sessions, when they are happening, something will happen in the background a day before, on the same day. I've lost many times, I've lost connection, internet connection. I've lost the screen. Suddenly my laptop, which has never had a problem, and I'm an IT guy, and this got a problem which I was not able to fix at that point of time. Now doing the right steps, I'm not able to fix the problem. Can you imagine? Same steps when I did later, this issue resolved. Cutting it short, simple. protection decree in the morning helps you to be in your own I am presence and protect you from any negative energy. So it's a good idea to do a protection decree every morning. That's what I meant to say. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer, but we are done with the session.
Thank you, Akash. Thank you so
Thank you,
much. And
thank you
thank
so
you
much,
for the
Akash.
group, for the energy. Thank you.
Thank you, all of you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Akash. Thank you. It was great. It was very enlightening. Thank you, Nalini, for encouraging me to join.
Thank you,
Like
Akash Bhai, not
something
me.
to something good.
Thank you
Sometimes
for
it's very
joining. In
challenging.
fact, you gave your time and energy and
No, it
interest,
was
and I
like
don't
you
take
said.
it
I'm
lightly. And
going
I'm
through this
really
experience
privileged.
of being challenged in times when we want to do good. I'm experiencing that already. So
Yes.
it was good. It was very enlightening that you also shared the same thing. So it makes it brings in a lot of acceptance when we go through this. Yeah, it
Yes.
really
Yeah.
helped me a lot. Thank you, Nalini. Thank
We
you so
can
much.
learn from each other. Yeah, that's why we are
Yes,
here.
we
We're
can.
all here
Yeah,
to
yeah.
evolve
Please
together.
stay
We
connected.
must be
Please stay
together.
connected.
That's very important.
Yes,
You know,
stay connected.
Buddha was told, there was a question asked by a disciple that how much of the the journey of enlightenment is about being part of sangha. So he said the whole of the enlightenment journey is being part of the sangha. So
Yeah,
being in the sangha is the most critical piece
yeah,
of the
yeah.
process of enlightenment, because this journey has to be walked alone. And
Yes, yes,
when we
yes.
fall, there is nowhere to hold. But when we are in the sangha, no, we all of us,
Yeah,
because we
true.
are going through it, we feel it.
Yeah,
It's okay to
yeah.
go through it. And then
I felt
this
that your prayer.
small
Yeah,
things
yeah,
help. That is why I do these sessions. There are sometimes when there are 20 people, there are sometimes there is one, but I don't
yeah.
miss the session because of that reason. So
I
it's not
think
that
you did it to help me. Your prayers will work on me. They worked on me. I think, and I was very open to receiving. I really thank you both of you that I'm here today. I was just meant to be. God has been very kind today. Thank you.
it was meant for you, sister. You are there.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you,
God's
Akash.
blessings. Yeah. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Nalini. Thank you. See you. Bye bye.
See you soon.
Please
Bye
stay
bye.
connected. Please stay connected.
Thank you,
Bye.
Akash Bhai.
Bye.
Thank you so much. I don't have any questions because I understood everything how you are saying. I don't want to your flow. I don't want to by questions that will sort of divert you from what you want to say. That's what I wanted to hold. Otherwise it just starts scattering in my mind. So that's why I don't ask questions. Yeah.
Okay. Sure, sister. I understand, and thank you for being here and giving your time. And it's too early for you. It's starting at
No,
5:30
it's fine.
in
It's
UK.
fine.
And
I was so excited that I couldn't sleep, till about 3 o'clock. I was wide awake, and I said,
my God,
"Should I phone Akash Bhai and say, come on, let's start the session now?"
I could have done it. Yeah,
But it's
so
fine.
nice.
Yeah, I can manage this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very
And
much
I'm glad
indeed
if you
for.
need any help, if you need, I'm glad to assist you. I would suggest that you go through the 7 rays, because it will help you to get grounded. That's the primary nursery class, grade 1. And then on top of it, we
7
will be
rays,
giving,
yeah?
yeah, 7 rays.
Yeah,
And
I've
there is
done
an
the 2
assessment
rays.
also. Yeah.
I've done the first 2 rays, and then somehow, like you said, when you want to do some good, there's always something comes, and then it just prevents you, and you know that, okay, this is not the time, so I will do it in my own time. This tier 4 came in and all that, so everybody got a bit upset and all that, so it just other things take over, you know what I mean.
So what I have done is, this is an issue with many people. We have done a crash course. So in the crash course, you don't have to go through those 7 different sessions. A
Yes.
single 2 sessions. It's divided into 2 parts. Within those 2, 1.5 hour each. Within these 2 crash course, you can do it.
Yes.
With these 2 sessions, you can complete all the 7 rays.
Oh, good.
And the information shared in these 2 sessions are only related to the assessment. So we will be talking only about the God qualities. We will not be talking about other
Yes.
masters, but in other sessions I've spoken much about other masters and their life experience.
Yes.
So each ray has a master, and then we have spoken about
Yes.
chakras. So that we have skipped in this, because here the focus is about assessment. So if you go through the crash course, you can
Yes.
actually do the assessment. It will not take you more than 3 hours.
Yeah, I was following that,
The
but
session.
I again I had so much. We are doing this course and we had to prepare all this, and it was quite a lot of admin.
It will happen when it happens.
No
It's okay.
excuses, but
No worries, it's
that's
okay.
why I couldn't join.
Don't worry.
Yeah, sorry
you have
about that.
free liberty. Do whenever it works. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fine.
I believe in that. I believe strongly in
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah. Should be done at the right time.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay. Yeah. All the best for your session, Harjeet ji.
You again.
I know we will rock in that, so that's good.
She is an absolutely brilliant coach. So
I'm sure she
amazing
is.
woman. She's an amazing woman.
I know. It's not me. I think it's a download which from the Ascendant Masters. I truly believe it's a download. So I don't give it a name. I just speak as it comes, I think.
Yeah, you're doing God's work, so
Can't hear
that's
you
amazing. Continue with God's work. Yeah, it's
You
very
too,
important.
keep it up, Acharya. You were very good. Very good. Great.
Okay. Thank you, Ji.
Yes.
Carry on.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
All right.
Have a nice
Thank
weekend.
you.
All the best.